Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Energetics Podcast. I am your host, Kara Bunde-Dunn, and today I'm going to be talking about the number one thing that I wish I had when I started to open up and had my spiritual awakening. And for me, that had everything to do with feeling safe, feeling connected, and feeling supported. And because so many of these things started dropping in for me, I felt really scared and really nervous and really unsure of what was happening, what intuitive gifts were showing up for me, and what I was supposed to do with it. So I wanted to just share that with all of you in case if that's you. And if you're going through a spiritual awakening or you don't even know if you are or not, you're like, Kara, I don't know. Am I going through a spiritual awakening? Tell me, please tell me. We're going to get into all of it in this episode. And hopefully you'll know by the end of that if that's you. And hopefully this episode will help you to feel more supported and loved and nurtured in that process while you open yourself up. So for me, I would say my spiritual awakening really started happening probably like 10 years ago. And it started happening with me um, wondering if I was on the right path in my life. And that might be you, where you're like, I worked so hard to get to this place in my career, in my marriage, in my family, in the home that I bought, in the car that I drive, in the life that I have. I've worked so hard to get to this place. And now that I'm at this place that I like wrote down and dreamed up, do you remember like MASH where you'd play that MASH and you'd go and do like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and you'd be like, am I in an apartment? And am I in a mansion? Am I in, a shack? Am I in a house? Like what, all of that. I remember like thinking, oh my gosh, I would just love to have a beautiful house in the suburbs, and I would like to be married, and I'd love to have a kid, and I'd like to have a big corporate job where I make a lot of money. And this is the life that I want. And, I started manifesting that for myself at quite a young age. I also thought I wanted to be the president of the United States, but I am not manifesting that for myself. I do not want that job. But I did when I was little. So, anyhow, I feel like I really got everything I wanted in that way. And as I started getting those things, I started wondering, like, is this even what I want anymore? I thought those things would make me happy. But I'm starting to realize happiness does not come from external things. It comes from within me. And money truly only is a magnifier of what already is. So, what I mean by that is if you are pretty miserable, pretty depressed, pretty sad, down in the dumps, and you think money's going to make you happy, money will only magnify the problems you already have. And if you're already grateful, already very happy in your life, already very fulfilled, money will just be an expander of what already is. And so what I realized is like, oh, the things I thought I wanted for the wrong reasons. And that was truly part of what I would define as my spiritual awakening. I started realizing like what made me happy, what didn't make me happy. I started going, what can I do to center myself, to release stress, to come back into my own self? And I wasn't really thinking of it like a spiritual experience. I was just thinking, I want to be happier. And I want to be happier from within me, not from outside of me. I don't want a job title or a pay or a car or money or anything outside of me to bring me joy and happiness. I want all of that within me first. And that was really what happened. And I went on a personal growth journey and I really looked at what that meant for me. I started incorporating gratitude. I started spending time outside in nature. I really just started exploring myself and what brought me joy. And that was the first step in that. And then I started going like, oh, okay, I like this. I like the Kara that I am. I like the Kara that I'm expanding into. I think this is awesome. And then I started going, okay, now I'm ready to release fears. I want to open myself up and I want to release fears that don't serve me. And I really want to let go of low vibrational energy. And I started getting very interested in energy, frequencies, vibrations. My ears are ringing like crazy right now, almost like a boom sound bowl. Like that's like spirit is with us, if you're wondering, like here to help us. I started going to a medium. I've talked about this on a lot of episodes of the pod, and it really did start opening me up. I worked with an energy healer. I moved low vibrational ego energy out of me. And I was like, oh, energy's a real thing. This is so cool. Like how you vibrate in the world reflects back to you the same thing. And I started learning, like, I would say the principles of manifestation, but I didn't know it was manifestation at the time. I just knew that the more I was in the vibration of what I wanted, the more that energy came around me. So it's kind of like negative people attract negative people. You're like, oh gosh, you're so gossipy. And then all you do is hang out with people who also gossip all the time. You're like, yeah, like attracts like. That's what that is. So as you start shifting your energy, different things start showing up, different job opportunities, different friendships, all sorts of different things. But what I struggled with was letting go of the old friendships or old things and allowing the new. I was good at allowing the new, but not so good at letting go of the old. And so that was a journey as well. But then when my actual intuitive gifts started dropping in, like I would close my eyes and I could like maybe just see some energy and I could feel things around me. I am a clear feeler. That's one of my like intuitive listening languages. One of my core languages is feeling. I can feel tingles. I can feel energy. I can feel feels, big feelings, big feelings. But as things started happening, especially as I started doing automatic writing and getting downloads from my guides, I was like, oh shit, people are going to think I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like, if I tell somebody that I got a download from my guides, they're going to think I'm nuts. So I was super scared to talk about the things that were starting to open up for me. And I didn't know what to do about it. And so I felt a bit like a fraud, to be honest. I was like, I'm living this traditional business corporate life over here. And then I have all of these kind of spiritual things that are opening up for me over here. And I felt that they were out of congruence. Like I didn't know how to integrate the two where I could live a spiritually open life and still just be in the business world. And so that was a process to learn how to do that. And I will say the number one thing that I wish I had as all of that was happening was a safe community. I wish I had that. I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't know if it was safe for me to explore what was happening with me. I didn't know which friendships would support me, which ones wouldn't. So I just kept it all on the inside for a while. And then I slowly started talking to people. Some were awesome. Some were not. I've talked about this a lot too, so I won't get into the details of that. But I really wished that I had a community. And I had so many questions. The questions I get from all of you in my DMs on my Instagram, let me tell you, those are the things I was asking too. Like, is this normal? Like, I feel this like pressure on my third eye. Like, is something wrong? I feel like a little heaviness on my chest. Like, is there a dark energy around me? What is that? I don't know what's happening to me. Like, I really had a lot of questions. So I read books. I listened to podcasts, probably why you're listening to my podcast. I was really just trying to figure a whole bunch of things out. And I didn't feel like I had the right community. And I have slowly but surely pieced together my beautiful, like soul aligned community, one magical little relationship at a time. Some of them are people that I've met online that I've never met in person. Some people live all over the world. I just talked to my awesome friend Peter. He's a medium in Australia. I talked to my girl Julie. She's a psychic business coach. She's in the UK. Like I have people that actually do the same work that I do that I get to talk to, and that's so powerful. It was so validating to like have somebody understand me. And so when I say a soul aligned community, what I mean by that is a community of people where you feel safe to be your full, vulnerable, and authentic self. You can ask about anything. You feel safe to ask, does this happen to you? Or I've been thinking about this, or I've been really struggling with that. Like just being able to be safe. Just imagine for a minute what that would feel like. If you're listening to this podcast, you are a spiritually curious soul. You are, because you wouldn't be here if you weren't. So if you are spiritually curious, how cool would it be to be in a soul aligned community of people where you can move from spiritually curious to spiritually confident, where you're like, oh, yes, I feel so good. I'm learning. I trust what I'm learning. I have this safe place to grow and expand and like try on these new tools. And then I get to be like, oh my gosh, I did this really cool meditation and this is what opened up for me. Or I did this deep NLP hypnosis thing and this is what my guide showed me, like being able to just have those moments to share with people and knowing that they won't be like, I think you're crazy. Because I have to say, if you are not in the same vibration, if you are not on the same wavelength, then who you are and how you show up will be out of alignment for the other person. And I get my feelings hurt so deeply because I am a feeler. I feel energy. I can tell when people are judging me. I can tell when people are talking about me. And I can tell when people are lying to me. Like people will say, oh my God, I never said that. I promise I never said that. And I was like, they're lying. Okay. But they just aren't in a place where they can admit what they did or didn't say. So I'm like, okay, this is not your journey to carry. This is not your responsibility to allow them to not lie. Like this is just where they're at in their process. But I can feel it. I can feel when I'm an energetic match for somebody and when I'm not. And when you're not an energetic match for someone, meaning they're probably not your most soul aligned people, it will feel tense. It will feel hard. It will feel like you're walking on eggshells. It might feel like you can't say something. Like if I say that, she'll get so pissed. So I'm just not going to say anything because it's just not worth it. Or if I say, I don't agree with that, then I know it's going to be this big whole thing. So instead, I just let them have it. Okay. When you're thinking those things in your head, that is somebody you are not soul aligned with. You are not a vibrational match for them. Now, if that's your sister, I'm not saying don't have a relationship with your sister. I'm just saying she's probably not your soul sister in that way. Like she probably is, honestly. She's probably in your soul family, but she's not probably soul aligned for you. She's probably not somebody that can really be in community with you and support you as you expand and try on different spiritual tools to see if they help you open up. I also feel really like I was unsure of what the religious community would think of me. And I've talked about this pretty extensively as well, but I really just wanted to feel like I had people in my corner and that I wasn't this weird, odd duck off to the side that didn't fit in anywhere. And I will say, if you're finding your way to my podcast, there's probably a time in your life where you have felt like the odd one out. Like I have all these friends, I have a good job, I have a wonderful life, but I just feel like I'm a little out of place sometimes. Like I can't be my full self. I want to be, but I just can't be, or I don't feel safe to be. And so I am on a mission to create a soul aligned community. That is absolutely what I want more than anything and what my guides are telling me to do. They are telling me to create a support network for people like me that can feel safe, that can feel seen, that can feel heard, that can feel validated. So that is exactly what I am doing. And I'm so excited about this. Like I have been wanting to do this. My guides have been like dropping in wisdom about this for year, 2 years, year and a half, like a long time where I have been getting dropped in, start a community, start a membership, create a community of safe space for this. So that's exactly what I am going to be doing because I want what I didn't have. I'm like, I just will create it. If I wanted it, that means other people did too. So if you are on a spiritual path and you're feeling a little lonely or you're not exactly sure where your place is, or maybe you just have a lot of questions, you're like, I don't know, I'm just wondering a lot of stuff and I want to be in a space where I can like ask those questions and be curious and figure it all out. So I am creating this safe, nurturing place and it's called the Energetics Mentorship Community, where I am going to mentor you. I'm going to hold space for you. I'm going to create community for you. And it is all around energy, frequency, vibrations, and intuition. All of the things that we need to learn how to channel and harness to have a strong two-way connection with our guides and loved ones in spirit. Because when you start learning energy, You can do anything with it. And I am like legit on a mission to put all mediums out of work. Like, I want you all to be able to do this yourself. I don't want you to need somebody like me. I want you to learn how to tap into your intuition and how to trust that this stuff can like drop in for you on your own. So I was trying to figure out what to name this community. And because I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. And I love the podcast. It's called the Energetics Podcast. I really love the concept of energy and energetics. I really think that this is the way of the future in terms of understanding intuition. I think we're going to be really just talking about energy more and more and more, because scientists are studying it now. So there's like data to support what we intuitively have already known. And so I was asking my guides, like, what should I call this thing? And I literally got it dropped in. And they showed me like up in the, like I could see it like an image in my mind's eye. And they showed me Einstein, and so I see Einstein, I see his crazy hair, and I see up in black and white, and I can see E equals MC squared. And I was like, oh, for the love. Like, I barely scraped by science. Are we really going to give me science formulas? And then I was like, okay, energy equals math. Okay, I'm not even going to know what it is, but it's like, the formula E equals MC squared is the, when the speed of traveling at the speed of light. It is the energetic formula for the speed of light. I hope. Well, either way, my guides told me to name this, but I do believe that is what this formula is, the scientific formula of E equals MC squared. So they showed me this, and they're like, energy plus mentorship plus community is how we travel at the speed of light, how we are in a vibrational match to light. And what I think of as light is I think of our guides. I think of divine wisdom. I think of putting yourself in a bubble of light. When I'm in the energy of light, I am in the energy of what is for my highest and best good. And that is freaking cool. But if you do it alone, it can feel lonely. So what if we have energy plus mentorship plus community? And we're talking about energetics, and we're talking about frequency, and we're talking about vibrations, and you're getting your questions answered, and you're understanding these things, and you're doing it in a safe community, and it's equals squared, the multiplier effect. And then I do that, and we do that, and we create a container, and we create a collective energy. What could get magnified? What ripple effect can we have on the planet, in the universe, in the lives that we touch, in our communities, when we understand how to harness energy and how to be in the vibrational pattern of light, how to be in the frequency of love more? You can love yourself, love your job, love your family, love your life, and you can let that love be a ripple effect into everything else that you do. And wouldn't it be amazing if there was a community that you could do that in? Which is why I am launching the Energetics Mentorship Community. This thing is taken off to the moon on April 1st. This is not a joke. This is real. And I just laughed. My guides told me like April 1st. And I was like, are you joking? And they're like laughing in my ear. I can hear laughter. And they're like, no, it's not a joke. But isn't it funny that we can make a joke about it not being a joke? And I was like, oh, for the love. Okay. So anyhow, we're launching this thing on April 1st. I believe it's a Tuesday. I'm going to teach a class. I'm going to have a masterclass, a free masterclass. If you're listening to this pod, be on the lookout, because I'm going to have something around talking to your guides, a masterclass. I have this amazing freebie that I put on my website. It's for all of you. Go snag it, grab it, use it. But I am going to be teaching a masterclass. And after that masterclass, the doors are going to open for my founding members. So I trust spirit. I tune into them. I ask them for guidance all the time around everything. Like, I just live in a co-creation of life. That is just who I am and what I do. Like, okay, team, what are we doing today? What does everybody need to hear today? Like, I just trust the guidance that I get. And so for 5 days, I'm going to have the doors open. You can always join the membership at any time. You really can. It's just, what is the price going to be and what bonuses do you get? But I'm not one that's like, oh, shoot, I missed the window, I'll never get in again. I don't like to live in that frequency. I like to live in the frequency of abundance and what's possible. But for 5 days only, I asked my guides, okay, so what should we price this thing? It's like the thing, like, what should we charge? Like, I would give it away for free, but I need to pay my bills. So y'all need to be in this community with me, if it feels aligned for you. And I asked them, okay, what price should this be? And they said, if you are in the founding member group, open the doors at $11.11 a month. So that is what I'm going to do. And if you sign up for a year-long membership, you'll get 2 months free. So you'll get a discount, like 20% off, I think is what it is. So it's going to be $11.11. I hope that is just a no-brainer for you. I hope that you're like, you know what? I can afford that. Maybe I can't afford a reading with Kara, or maybe I can't do coaching with her, but I can afford to be in her community at that price. So I have all sorts of really cool information about it on my website. It is, you can sign up for the wait list now. And the reason you're going to want to do that is because when I open the doors, I'm going to be dropping other freebies and other things that you're going to get if you sign up and if you're a part of the founding member group. So, for instance, if you have wanted to take my Connecting with Spirit course and you're like, oh my gosh, 60 lessons, 5 modules of content, taking you from not knowing how to connect to fully connected with your guides, meditations, all the things. You can buy that on my website right now. And it's, I think, $297 or something like that on my website. But I'm also going to give it away for free. My guides were like, give it to people. They need the course. And it'll be so powerful for them to take the course and be in your membership. So if you have been wanting to take that course, you will also get it for free. You won't get the live coaching and all of those components that are with it when the people took it live, but you will get the course itself for free. And I don't know if I'll do that forever, but it is for sure going to be with the founding member group. You're going to get that course for free. So you could come in for $11.11, binge the entire course, do the first month, and then be like, okay, cool, I'm going to go off on my own. I hope that you don't. I hope that you go, you know what? I want a soul-aligned community. I want to be in community with people, and I want to feel safe to explore my spirituality, and I want to be in the energy and vibration of a similar energy to me. I want a vibrational match to me. And if that is you, this is what this community is going to bring. So you can sign up for the wait list right now so that you can get on there and know when it's opening. But as of now, based on what my guides are telling me, April 1st, I'm going to open the doors for that. And there'll be like a 5-day window where you can get in the founding member group and you can learn all about what's included in it. But I have been talking about it a lot in this episode because I felt so alone. I felt so confused, and I really felt like all this new stuff is happening and I'm just not sure who I can talk to about it. And I don't want you to feel that way. I would have given anything to have a space like this where I could just drop in the community chat and say, oh my gosh, this happened. Has this happened to anybody else? And just feel supported and loved and nurtured and cared for. And my guides said, this is what people need right now. The energy of the planet is shifting. You might be feeling that. And sometimes, you know how it's like they're showing me everything is upside down in terms of like the opposite of analogies. So like I was doing this hypnosis session with this hypnotherapist about releasing blocks earlier this week. And they showed me like it's like the game of Chutes and Ladders. And I'm like climbing the ladder and healing and doing all these things. And it's like flip it around. And it's actually the slide that takes you where you need to go. And I was like, oh, that's a cool analogy. I want my life to be more like a slide, more like, wee, fun. I'm flowing down into where I need to go. So everything is kind of like the opposites in terms of analogies from my team. So the world right now going through this planetary shift and everything feels energetically shifting. Instead of it saying like the calm before the storm, what they're telling me is this is actually the storm before the calm. So if you feel like natural disasters, politics, wars, all of this stuff, you're like, oh my God, things feel so heavy right now. The world feels heavy. This all feels so freaking heavy right now. What is going on? What my guides are telling me and what I am getting in my downloads from them is that this is the storm before the calm. And light workers, people like me, people like you, people that are meant to ripple light out into the world are going to be called to magnify their light, because only light can remove the darkness. The only way to get out of the dark is to turn on a light. And so we are the light. We are the magnifier of that light. And that's, I think, what we're all being called to do, is to shine our light and to allow the love and joy and light within us to ripple out and change the planet and heal our planet. Like Mother Earth is like screaming right now, take care of me, love me, be good to me. So I get lots of downloads about what the next 5 to 10 years will look like. And I'll talk about it even more inside the community. But yes, I think we are being called to expand and to grow and to be the energy, the high vibrational energy that helps shift what's happening in our communities, in our families, and even so much as on the planet, all through the entire Mother Earth. So anyhow, I'm going to hop off this hot mic and let you get carried on with your day. But I really hope that if you're feeling lonely or you're feeling like I'm opening myself up spiritually, but I have a lot of questions and I'm wondering a lot of things I'm feeling, things I'm seeing, things I'm sensing, things that I feel like are dropping in like drops of wisdom, join the wait list. You can find it on my website under services. I think it's called community. Just click on the community tab and you'll learn more about this Energetics Mentorship Community and hop on the wait list. And I really hope that you do. I'll put the link in the show notes too. I am most often on the gram. So come on Instagram, hang out with me, DM me, be in community with me. I want so much to just be a force of good and love and light for you in the world, and to be that beacon for you, to know that it is safe in my world for you to be your full vulnerable self. Until next time, my friends.